Younger women and older men have always been a thing since the beginning of time, and the term I like to call it is sugar dating. But in 2024, is sugar dating the new norm? Before I spend weeks on this video, I traveled back in time and heard from two people who young women often reference as role models. In my everyday life, I got to understand older, successful gentlemen. Needless to say, I learned a lot about the different types of relationships there are and what both parties are looking for.
Attention, I am looking for a sugar daddy. Could the sugar daddies of Hollywood Hills please reveal yourself? I'm looking for a sugar daddy. You may not drive a Subaru. That's not okay. Oh, a Prius will not do.
Welcome back to another episode of BMSL. I am your host, where we discuss all things suburbs. I'm Ghost, and today we're discussing, well, you see the title, is sugar dating the new norm?
On the block, disobeying the law.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reason we're having this conversation today is because women on the internet are asking for sugar baby treatment from regular guys. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean by trips, dates that are extravagant, that women want, great treatment, spas and everything like that. We'll go into more detail later on in the video, but they're asking for all these things and then complaining that men aren't doing these things anymore, not knowing that, listen, we're trying to build ourselves up, okay? But don't take it from me. I got a couple videos that I'm gonna play from young women, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the history and the background of the sugar baby and where it all started, and everything is gonna be linked in the description as far as the videos that I use. Check her out.
What happened to men pursuing girls? When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore or put in any effort? It seems like guys can just put the bare minimum and not even really put in effort anymore. They don't really care to. Or they're like, why don't girls just go and make the first move and make the effort? When did it become a thing? Now it's like role reversal where they expect girls to be making the first moves, yearning for a guy and chasing him. That is, I feel like, the downfall of why it's so hard to meet someone, because men don't put in effort anymore or don't care to put in effort.
Right? And throughout history, young men have never been able to do something like this.
Spend the day with me as a 25-year-old sugar baby. So my sugar daddy wanted to take me to New York with him. Oh my god. I'll never say no. He bought me a ticket and oh my god, look at the space in this cabin. He always wants to take me on his trips and girl, I will be there at the airport.
And if you can do something like that consistently, you have status and money. And shout out to you, because business for two is not cheap. That's a bar. But I get the feeling that people, they don't really know where all this started. So let's go back to the beginning of the earliest recorded sugar baby, Cleopatra. Shout out to SGs out there, or the suburban gang that's out there supporting. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. It's the only form of support that I have at this moment. It would mean the world to me if we could get to 100 subscribers before the end of the year. I appreciate you guys. Every follow and every like counts as we're on our YouTube journey to monetization. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys at the end of the video.
Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, daringly smuggled herself into Julius Caesar's palace in Alexandria, concealed within an ornate carpet. Upon unrolling the carpet and beholding the queen, Caesar was instantly struck by her striking beauty and astute intellect. Cleopatra was far from an ordinary queen. She was a brilliant strategist, a polyglot capable of speaking at least a dozen languages, and had a well-deserved reputation for her wit, charm, and cunning. A fiercely independent ruler, she refused to submit to the will of any man. However, Julius Caesar was no ordinary man. He was an accomplished conqueror, a charismatic and powerful leader who had triumphed in numerous battles, accumulating immense wealth and influence throughout the Roman Empire. In spite of his many conquests, Caesar found himself utterly captivated by this young, enigmatic queen, seemingly powerless to resist her magnetic charm. As the two spent more time in each other's company, their mutual attraction intensified. They were both enthralled by each other's unique cultural backgrounds and perspectives, and they shared an insatiable hunger for politics and power. It was only a matter of time before they succumbed to the irresistible forces of love. Though the age difference between them was considerable, Caesar was 52, while Cleopatra was a mere 22.
So I'm not going to go too much in more detail about that. You guys know who Cleopatra is. What we don't see is at the same time she established a relationship with Mark Antony, currying favor just in case things failed with Caesar. She showed up in a rug to Caesar in the first place because she was about to be killed by her own brother. She had to do what any woman would do to survive. This is part of accepting women for who they are. She's not the only case in history that women worship today. There's also Coco Chanel, the Chanel No. 5 creator and designer.
Chanel was a smart woman. and she was born with pretty good looks. So considering her circumstances, it should come as no surprise that she found herself a wealthy patron very early on. Her charms captured the heart of a very rich man, Etienne Balzan, the heir to the largest textile company in France that, among other things, produced uniforms for the French army. By 1906, when she was 23 years old, she had become his mistress, and through him, she began mingling with the upper class. 2 years later, Coco began an affair with one of Etienne's friends, an English aristocrat, and she would actually play them off of each other. They'd compete for her love by showering her with gifts and fulfilling her every wish. One of those wishes was to indulge Coco in her dream of opening a fashion boutique in Paris, which she did in 1910 thanks to funding from her wealthy lovers.
She goes on to establish intimate relationships with other powerful men throughout her life, even the Nazis. But in no way was she doing this for free. And I repeat, in no way was she doing this for free. Her store, to this day, is an iconic staple in the fashion community, and this is 103 years later, so I guess you could say pseudo-prostitution really did pay off. But it's important to go back in history so we can understand this subject just a little bit better, because women have not changed. They want what they want, and a lot of the times, what they're asking for can only be given to them through an older gentleman. And I already know you cheap ninjas are going to come from my neck and say, oh, it's illegal to pay women for sex. I'm not talking about paying women for sex at all, okay? But I'll let this guy tell you.
In most states, it is completely illegal to pay for sex. As a result, the entire arrangement is that they pay the money to spend time with the girl, to take her out to dinner, that sort of thing, take her on shopping sprees. Anything that comes after, anything extra, that's just something that just happens, right? It's not something they actually paid for, because legally speaking, that could get both sides of that arrangement in a lot of trouble. So yeah, $5,000 a month to go to dinner a few times. And anything that happens after, well, that happens. Maybe there's an understanding about it, but technically speaking, legally speaking, that $5,000 a month is just to go to dinner, hang out a little bit. In other words, legally speaking, they're not paying for the sex.
Now you heard him. Legally, you're not in the wrong for paying her for her time. This is something that high class and the wealthy have been doing since the dawn of human existence. Furthermore, sugar dating wasn't supposed to be in the lower class, but social media has polarized it and popularized it enough to the point where it can't be ignored. Like this.
Attention golf cart, I am looking for a sugar daddy. Anyone fit the qualifications? Put your hand up, put your hand. Oh, you got the wives in the back, wives in the back. Okay, I'll find you later. I didn't know you had your wives in there. I'm sorry. I love the dogs. I could be a stepmother to the dog, but it's fine.
As you can see, these women have no shame because they understand they won't be young forever and they need to capitalize on their youth and beauty while they can. To really put things into perspective, every relationship is different, and most men are looking for an emotional relationship that they can build up with a woman so that when they have free time or when they're coming into town, the young woman is ready with no hesitation. Keyword, I said young woman. On the other hand, women are mainly looking for trips, spa treatments, a mentor, money, of course, a great time, and most importantly, discretion. Women can have their reputation messed up. No. Many of them want to get married later in life, around 28 to 29, all the way up to 40. And having the confidence that no one will potentially tell their future mate allows them to rest easy. These men, the sugar daddies, range from ages 35 to 70, and according to this woman, the older, the better.
I always advise young women to date at least older men because, they get a lot. Just think about this. Your life experiences could be so much better. You could have so much more freedom just by deciding to date an older guy who's already financially stable versus struggling with someone else that's probably going to cheat on you anyway because they're young and they're going to make mistakes.
For women, 18 to 28 is universally acceptable, but there are some rare cases where women are accepted even older. I'd argue that even married couples in the suburbs started off as a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationships, but y'all ain't ready for that conversation in these YouTube streets. Athletes, CEOs, Saudi princes, doctors all end up marrying their sugar baby, or they keep them around as a concubine. Either way, the divorce rate for athletes is high because when they retire, their income becomes significantly less. When they're active, it's very high. To put it simply, your wife or your girlfriend has less money to spend. 9 out of 10 NBA players divorce. So to answer that question, is sugar dating the new norm? Yes, it is, because that's what women are asking for. And so gentlemen, 18 to 35, if you don't have a bag yet, get one, because now we know what they want. Us being young should not stop us from saving our money, energy, attention, and time. Shout out to the Coach Gang. And as I close, I just want to say, gentlemen, as men on our way to success, we should not be broke dating. In our culture, it's unbecoming of us as men to go out and date knowing what women are looking for. I want to cover this topic today because there's been a lot of talk and shaming tactics from the lower class of society, and I needed to clear the air. Any other culture outside of America, this is promoted because long-term well-being of both parties is taken into account. A man 18 to 35 virtually has no value, but a man 40 to 50 has the most value because he's in his prime earning years. Take your time, stack your paper, and in the meantime, go to the Asian massage parlor, spend $150, $200, get fixed up, get back to work. But it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I will see you guys next time. Peace.